Hi, I'm Phil Rude, and this is my 100 Days of Making Comics, days 81 through, 94. Wow, because I'm almost done. I'm in the home stretch now. And also, wow, it has been a long time since I have done a video update. For those of you who follow me on Instagram, or the few of you who follow me on Facebook or Twitter, you have seen that I am still updating daily, or at least accounting for every day. I think I've had a couple days where I've missed like an Instagram post, but I will account for that work like the next day. Like, here's a picture of what I did yesterday and today. I just forgot to post. I believe I have posted for every day of this challenge so far on Instagram. I haven't done a video post every day. I have tried to hit at least one a week. And right up until this last week, I have done that. The last couple weekends, I have spent not feeling great. And that's typically when I am doing my video updates, because it's kind of when I have more time to do them. I've had some... I feel like whenever you say when I've had a health issue, it sounds much more serious than it necessarily is. It has seemed more serious to me than it probably is. It's something relatively minor, but anytime I have to go to a doctor, I write that up as a health issue. This is something I talked to my wife about a little bit, is that I've lived my life with the good fortune of being a healthy person for almost all of my life, physically healthy. I have not had much in the way of allergies or ongoing sickness. I don't have brittle bones. I don't have any weird conditions. I haven't required medicine until the last couple of years on a regular basis, like an ongoing prescription. I've been very fortunate in that way, to have some good genetics that have kept me healthy for my whole life. So now I'm in my 40s and I'm starting to have a couple of very minor and very pedestrian health issues that just sort of come with being over 40. Nothing major. But it always feels like something major. It sort of takes me out for a weekend where I sit here and go, oh my God, I feel terrible. And it really turns me into kind of a whiner. I'll admit that. I don't like to be a whiner when I'm sick, when I have the flu or something. There's a lot of ongoing internet jokes about how men are big and tough until they get a cold, and then they're big, whiny babies. And I have always been the exact opposite of that. I want to be left alone. But yeah, with the recent couple of bouts that I've had, it is sort of taken it out of me. So all that is a long-winded way of saying, sorry for missing a couple of video updates. I am doing this one, and I should have one more. I'm going to do one for my 100th day. I believe will fall on next weekend. So I'm considering doing a live stream or some bigger video where I can, I don't know. I'd like to have some kind of interaction with people as I'm doing it. So I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do. But the 100th day is a milestone, and I would kind of like to, ring that bell. Outside of a little bit of me basically having to drug myself for minor reasons, the challenge is going well. I've been penciling a lot of pages. I've been thumbnailing a lot of pages. I've been taking some days to write. I've written In the last couple of weeks, I've written, I've done some prose writing, but I've also done some comics writing on the arc of Professor Whiskers that I am currently working on, as well as I've done a thumbnail script of another Darwin short comic that I would like to get to, and just sort of batting around some other ideas for some comics I'd like to work on in the future. I think it's good for good exercise for me to sort of write out some things, so explore some ideas, and get those ideas down in some form that can be reworked later. And I've really enjoyed the ongoing writing that I've been doing in the last month or so. I'm hoping to make it a more regular thing. I've batted around the idea of taking some creative writing classes and, just sort of exploring the writing side a little bit more. That's about it. I've just got this ongoing comic going. I feel really good about the work that I'm doing on Professor Whiskers right now. I'm having a lot of fun with it, and despite how seriously, I know I've gone on about this in other videos, despite how seriously we all take comics and the comic industry and get upset about, things that really, at the end of the day, sort of take away from the fun that I feel like we're supposed to be having with this. So I really feel good about how I'm working on this comic and allowing it to be a lot of fun for me. Looking forward, I'm keeping this rolling, but I will be glad to get out of the 100 days loop. There's a couple other projects that I have some loose deadlines, but deadlines nonetheless, where it would be beneficial for me to say, okay, here's this designated comic time that I have been using, and I do sort of need to redirect that time towards something else that I need to get done. And so it will be nice to be able to sort of break away from that timetable and the commitment I have to the 100 days of making sure that that's getting done at a certain time. I'm rambling now. But it will be nice to break away from that and be able to sort of look at another project that I just straight up need to get done, which I also enjoy doing. This for spoiler alert for J. Hammond C. and his Beyond the Playlist podcast that I do every year with another group of artists. Anyway, more on that later. In a later video, I mean. But yeah, I'm looking forward to wrapping this up and being able to keep the groove of working on comics every day or nearly every day, and still being able to spread out and get some other work done. I will probably sit down and do some more inking on top of what I'm doing in this video. This is from today. I have been penciling this, which also it is apparent if you're watching my Instagram feed. But as I said in an earlier video, it's also a little tougher to film. It's tougher to take video of penciling and have it show up as well. So I'm glad I got to a point where I'm starting to ink this set of pages here. Other than that, I am getting healthier. I am feeling better by the day. I am enjoying just some little things like a new bird feeder in my yard that's bringing some cardinals and some more squirrels and just some entertainment to the yard. I'm enjoying baseball this year, even though the White Sox are kind of hit and miss as to whether or not they really show up to play. And I'm enjoying the last gasp of of weather that is not 1 billion degrees in Florida before we hit summertime. So despite my whining, things are good. The comics making front is good. And I am very much enjoying things as they are right now. Not to brag, but, my life's pretty good. Anyway, that's all I've got. If you're tired of hearing me rambling, you're probably glad I didn't put out other videos in the last couple weeks, which would be just more of the same. I will hit this up next week with my 100th day that will close out the challenge. I see a few of you that I am following on YouTube that are wrapping it up here in the last few days, and congrats to you guys. Some great work has come through my YouTube feed in the last 100 days. Some of you have done this challenge multiple times. It's just really cool to watch, and it's cool to see people wrapping up the 100 days, high-fiving themselves, high-fiving each other. It's a great community exercise. I'm glad to be doing it too, albeit a few days behind you guys. On that note, I'm going to ask you to check out The Adventures of Professor Whiskers. I will drop a link for that in the description here. And I will talk to you guys next week with the end of my challenge.